Good day everyone! We are back with Chinese anime, or Donghua again. Today, I'll tell you guys about a few titles that are actually incredibly good, but do not receive that much attention for whatever reason. But first, you guys know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe if you like our content and ring the bell. It really motivates us to do better. So starting off, Shen He Shi Ji Tu is a title that I actually really enjoyed, and for some reason it's completely unknown, even amongst fans of Chinese anime. It is a title that is not that old either, it came out in 2018, so there was already a budding fanbase of Chinese animation in the West. But when it comes to talking about this series, there is absolutely nothing, just zilch. The lack of subtitles does contribute to that. But it is strange in itself, so many Chinese shows get subs even if they are terrible ones, but this one even lacks that. Have I emphasized how unknown this title seems to be enough? Shen He is a manhwa adaptation. The series is published by Tencent Comics, and they were one of the producers of the animation, unsurprisingly. One of the best traits of the manhwa to me is the art style. That has a unique touch in comparison to most other manhwa. Lo and behold, the art style that had a distinct recognizability to it was made into a 3D CGI series. You might expect me to complain that the manhwa, which had art that I really liked, was adapted into bland CGI. Nope, no complaints here. The CGI works well since it replicates the style of the series. As you can see, the CGI is actually quite good for this series. It's better than quite a few series that were released only recently. It is quite fantastical and strange, and the colorful and peculiar imagery of the series is well replicated in the animation. I would still suggest reading the manhwa since it's worth it to see it in the original form. And the animation does make a few changes here and there to the story. However, what I really like about this series is its difference in regards to much of the other stuff animated at the moment when it comes to Chinese animation. It borrows elements of the Chinese myth of creation involving Nuwa and adds a spin to it that means the world we live in is simply an illusionary realm. The main character manages to be dragged out of the illusionary world of ours into the real world by getting involved with a strange man. The happenings that unfold after this I won't spoil, but this is a great work with social commentary, usually delivered comically. It's a great enjoyable work and its animation is definitely worth a watch. Next we have Zhe Tianji, or Way of Choice. This series has over 5 seasons, so it's hard to explain why I cannot find anyone to talk about it. It does not seem to hold the same level of popularity as series like it, especially the CGI ones like Soul Land, Battle Through the Heavens, which surprises me since it is one of the only ones to actually be 2D and replicate a anime style. Zhe Tianji is a Xuanhuan series, which is the most prominent genre when it comes to fantasy series in China, and it's a genre that's also quite popular with Western audiences, possibly because it blends various elements. On an off note, considering that Zhe Tianji is a popular series in China, even if that is an obvious statement, seeing it has so many seasons. I did not make this clear yet, but Zhe Tianji is a web novel adaptation. It's based on one of my favorite web novels in the Xuanhuan genre. It follows Shen Chengsheng, a bit of a country pumpkin, who was raised by his master alongside his elder disciple in isolation. However, he goes to the city in order to address an arranged marriage between him and the genius girl with the bloodline of the phoenix. Shen Chengsheng is naturally not respected, especially as he seems unable to cultivate, and in a moment of frustration, he decides to maintain the wedding arrangement that he was set in breaking. However, various political workings within the city and empire he resides allows him time to support. However, that means he makes various enemies. But the various political workings within the city and empire he resides in allows him time and support to find a way to cultivate. Shen Chengsheng is quite an interesting character that has a lot of charm for me. He's a youngster, and whilst he is calm and collected, He does show frustration and a mild sense of childishness sometimes, especially in interactions with his close friends. In that sense, he feels like an actual youngster that feels pressured by all the conversations and political figures interested in using him for their own goals. Shen, for me, is a really charming character. I feel like he's relatable because of his underdog status and the amount of hard work he does in order to cultivate, despite the many troubles he faces. Maoni, the author of this series, likes to take his time to tell the story. So Jietianji, or Way of Choices, is quite slow paced, and in the time the main character struggles to cultivate, we get to know various key characters and the political landscape of the world. Shen is a small piece in the whole setting and plot, but he gradually grows through the story and becomes a key piece over time. The way the story handles this natural progression through time is its strongest element, and one of the main things it has over other Xuanhuan stories. So definitely give this series a try. It's 5 seasons long, so there's a lot to get through, but it's really easy to just binge away all the seasons. So next, Cupid's Chocolate is not a type of series that you see often when it comes to Chinese anime. As you can see, this is a harem romance series, but it has supernatural elements to add a bit of spice. This was released back in 2015, in the initial periods of the rise of streaming animation due to sites like Bilibili in China. At that time, there were not many outlets for subs for Chinese series in the West, and I remember watching this series on YouTube at the time. The fact subgroups published subbed episodes on YouTube made it a great source for Chinese anime back then. It still kind of is, but nowadays I find that the subgroups that worked back then have largely disbanded. That was a bit of a tangent. Let's get back on talking about Cupid's Chocolate, however. What is this series all about after all? It follows our main character who finds himself at his college daydreaming, until the idol / most popular girl of the college suddenly confesses that she's having his baby. He's unaware of it and feels everything is quite strange, since he doesn't even know this girl. But that does not stop him from becoming the target of her fans in the college. In order to avoid their questioning, he runs away, but as the news spreads around the college, he struggles to find anywhere safe. In the end, he ends up on the rooftop, but it does not take too long for it to be swamped with people after him. In a moment of abrupt insanity, the main character jumps off the building, and before falling, time stops, and he meets a girl that calls herself a Cupid. In order to avoid spoiling further, let's just say that Cupid is accidentally the cause for this whole issue. It seems various girls have false memories of being together with the main character, and the idol is only one of them. So the main character has to somehow break the false memories they have with him, and the Cupid is the one that can tell him how to do that. That initial setup branches into arcs involving each girl, and the drama around each one. As you can see, Cupid's Chocolate is a goofy comedy romance story, but it does add some more dramatic elements the further it goes in the story. The problem with this series is the animation can be a bit stiff at times. It is a work from a few years ago, and the Donghua industry has grown by leaps and bounds since then. However, sadly, we won't see more of this series most likely, as it has apparently been shadow banned in China. This technically means that it has been delisted from official streaming platforms, so you can't find it on Bilibili or any other official platforms. It is not a struggle to find it in pirate sites or access it from China like most stuff that is banned there. I dislike this because official streaming platforms do publish Japanese series that resemble Cupid's Chocolate, and also this sort of measure for films, anime just hurts the company, because they will be available to watch, but for free in pirated sites in China either way. Either way, we at least got 2 seasons worth of animation, and we can always turn to the manhwa for the rest of the story. So that was the video, guys. Hopefully it was a short one this time, I think. What is your favorite underrated Donghua at the moment? Leave a comment down below, and drop a like while you are at it, and subscribe too. Catch you guys later!